Hey everyone, welcome. We'll go ahead and get started. If my audio sounds good and you can hear me, if you can throw a thumbs up in the chat, that'd be perfect. All right, I think there we go. We're looking good. Okay, so I'm so glad you're here. My name is SD, and today we're going to spend about 90 minutes together exploring practical AI tools. And I mean, really practical. So this isn't going to be one of those sessions where I just show you ChatGPT and call it a day. Instead, I'm going to show you AI that's already built into tools you probably already use or could start using tomorrow. Tools like Google Docs, Google Sheets, and even Google Meet. The goal today is pretty simple. By the time we're done, you'll walk away knowing at least one or two things you can actually use in your daily life, whether that's for your business, for school, for organizing your family, or just honestly making life a little easier. So let's get started. Before we get started, I did want to give you a little information about my background. I'm a Detroit native, so what up, though, to everybody from the D. I'm now proud to call SoCal home. I'm married with 2 kids and a dog who thinks he runs our household. By day, I help companies modernize their operations and move their data to the cloud. By night and weekends, I'm usually answering what's for dinner, which is exactly why we use AI to plan our weekly recipes and just make life easier. I've spent the last years working with data, which is the foundation that makes all of this AI possible. I believe the real power of AI isn't in the technology itself, it's in putting practical tools in the hand of regular people who can use them to make their lives easier. Now let's take a poll. If you look at the bottom, you'll see where the chat icon is. So if you can just answer this question for me, how many of you have used AI before? A, yes. C, not yet. I'm just started. Type your answer in the chat. All right, let that go. See some answers coming in. All right, cool. Now, I put this workshop together with a few different groups in mind. Maybe you're a small business owner trying to save time on admin work. Maybe you're a parent juggling a million things and looking for ways to stay organized. You might be in real estate and constantly writing listings or tracking leads. Or maybe you're a student trying to manage research and projects. Or honestly, maybe you're just curious about what all this AI stuff can really do. Wherever you're coming from, trust me, you're in the right place. Here's how today is going to work. I'm going to be doing some live demonstrations, like actually showing you these tools in action, not just talking about them. And throughout the session, feel free to drop a question in the chat. I'll be keeping an eye on it and we'll answer questions as we go. And then about halfway through or toward the end, we'll open up the microphone. So anyone who wants to ask something live, you can do that. All right, let's dive in. So what makes this session different from other AI workshops you might have seen? Well, we're not just going to sit here typing questions into ChatGPT. Now, don't get me wrong, chat is great, but that's not the only way to use AI. And honestly, it's not even the most useful way for most people's daily tasks. Instead, I'm going to show you AI that's embedded right inside tools like Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Meet, which we're on right now, tools you probably already have access to. And we'll look at a couple newer tools like Gamma and NotebookLM. Spoiler alert, NotebookLM is my favorite, and I think these are absolute game changers. So these are real workflows, real results, and tools you can literally start using today. Not someday when the technology gets better, but the technology is here now. So buckle up, we got a lot to cover, and I promise you, you'll see something that makes you think, oh, wow, I could actually use that. So let's go. Before we jump into the demos, I want to hear from you. This is going to help me understand where everyone's head is at, and honestly, it might even influence what I focus on today. So here's what we're going to do. Open up the chat. You should see it at the bottom of your screen, and just drop in one thing. What's one thing you wish AI can help you with? Let's see, maybe it's something at work that's eating up your time. Maybe it's something at home that's just driving you crazy. Maybe you don't even know if AI can do that, but you're hoping it can. Just throw it in the chat. Don't overthink it. There are no wrong answers here. And this also gets you comfortable with using the chat because we'll be using this throughout the session. I'll give you about 30 seconds and, go ahead and start typing. That's a good one. Keeping track of deliverables at work and event planning, absolutely. Sync all of my calendars from my work, my personal calendar, your consulting company. Yep, that definitely could help. Business marketing. Marketing is definitely the new moat right now. That's more people falling in. So I understand where my kids are. Yes, absolutely. So we know what our kids are dealing with as college students and high school students as well. All right, I think all of these are things we can absolutely tackle with AI, and you're going to see a bunch of those solutions today. So let's get right into it. Here comes that poll again. Let me know what's the hardest part of meetings for you. Is it taking good notes, keeping track of action items, sharing summaries afterward? Just type your answers into the chat. Okay. To that point, let's start with something I think almost everyone can relate to: meetings. We all been there, right? You sit through a 30-minute meeting, maybe an hour, could be with a client, your team, could be a parent-teacher conference, a planning session for a group project. And the meeting itself takes time. But then what happens after, right? You've got the notes to take, or maybe you forgot to take notes because you were too busy actually participating in the conversation. Then you've got to remember who was supposed to do what. Wait, was I supposed to follow up on that, or was that Evan? And then you need to share what happened with people who weren't there, or just keep a record yourself. You always need to keep receipts. My auntie used to tell me that. So it's exhausting. And honestly, a lot of stuff just falls through the cracks. So here's the thing. AI can handle almost all of that for you. And I'm not talking about some fancy, expensive software. I'm talking about the tools that are built right into Google Meet, which a lot of you probably already use. So let me show you. I'm going to turn my camera on for a second. And we're going to go into this demo really quick. Need to switch my account. Here we go. Got a new tab. So this is a new meeting that I'm sharing. Let me cut the microphone off of that one. So when you're in Google Meet, whether you're hosting or just participating, look at the bottom of the screen, right down here. You'll see, oh, here we go. So you'll see several buttons: a microphone, camera, options. Now, when you click on Start Transcription, which is this little button right here, you see that? Start taking notes. And English is our preferred language, but you can turn that into more languages as well through here. So now you see that it's turning on, and Google Meet will give you a notification that transcription is starting, and everyone in the meeting will be notified that the meeting is transcribed. This is super important because it's transparent. People know what's happening, right? And that's it. From this moment on, everything that's being said in the meeting is being captured in real time. So Google's AI is listening to the AI, converting speech to text, and creating the document. Now, here's what's beautiful about this. You don't have to do anything else. You can focus entirely on the conversation. You can participate, you can listen, you can think, because the AI is taking notes for you. No more frantically writing while someone's talking, and then you miss what they said. So it's no more, wait, can you repeat that? No more trying to remember who agreed to do what. The transcript is happening in the background. And if I click here, you see that it's happening right here. You see Gemini is taking the notes. And also what's interesting is that you can ask Gemini questions about the meeting right here. You can ask it to summarize the discussion, and we see it starting to happen over here. No, maybe because I'm not talking enough, but pretty much it'll summarize it right here. So you can ask questions about what someone is talking about in this meeting. So next, what I'm going to do is, now when the meeting ends, let me stop this meeting. Here we go. So when the meeting ends, the Google Meet automatically saves the transcript to your Google Drive. So let me show you what that looks like to find your meeting. Okay. That is this one. I'm going to share this tab instead. And the good thing is that when you invite everyone to the meeting and you transcribe it, everyone will get this Notes by Gemini right here. So when I click here, I'm going to share this tab instead. This is the notes that we just talked about. It'll give you a summary of what happened, any type of details, and also the thing that I like the most is the transcription. So it'll take this whole transcription, and you can just take that notes and put it into another LLM, to another like ChatGPT, to say, hey, tell me about what happened. So I'm going to share this tab, and then we can keep going. So for me, this one feature is pretty much a game changer for anyone who had meetings. What I used to do prior is that I would record the meetings. And then I would go back, listen to the meeting, transcribe the meeting myself, write it by hand. And that would take me like 2 hours. So now that I have it by hand, then I would type it, and then I would look like, okay, this is what I need to do. That took me 2.5 hours each meeting just to be able to stay up to date. Now, let me paint the picture of how different people may use this, because I know you're all coming from different places. Now, if you're a small business owner, imagine you just had a client meeting. Instead of frantically typing notes while you try to listen, you can be fully present with your client. And then after the meeting, you've got a transcript and a summary that you can reference when you're putting together their proposal or following up. Same thing with team check-ins. Everyone knows exactly what was discussed and what they're responsible for. If you're in real estate, think about property walkthroughs with potential buyers. You're walking through the house, they're asking questions, you're pointing out features. Wouldn't it be nice to have a record of everything they said they loved, everything they're concerned about? That transcript becomes gold when you're following up with them later. Same with buyer consultations. You remember exactly what they said they were looking for. If you're a parent, I use this quite often. Teacher conferences. You're sitting there, the teacher's talking about your kid's progress, giving recommendation, and you're trying to remember it all. No, you don't have to. You have the transcript. Same thing with college planning meetings. So much information gets thrown at you, and now you can just review it all later. And if you're a student, group projects where everyone's throwing out ideas and you're supposed to remember who's doing what, you already got it transcribed. Professor office hours where they're explaining let's say a complex concept, you can go back and review exactly what they said. This one feature, meeting transcription, is useful for almost everyone, and it's free if you have a Google account. Now we're going to go to the next tool, but before we do that, let's take another poll. I want to know, what's the toughest part of writing content? Is it getting started? Is it editing and improving tone? Finding the right words quickly? Just type your answer in the chat. Those are good. Those are good. Absolutely. 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 And one thing I forgot to show you is where Google put those meetings at in your drive. it puts it right here. So if you come to my drive, you'll see something that's called meet recordings and meeting reports. They'll all go in here. So you see how much I use this. I use it literally every time. This is where they all will go. All right, and we'll just keep the party rolling. Thanks for taking the time to answer. So let's actually talk about writing, and specifically, let's talk about that moment we've all experienced. You open up a blank document and you're just staring at it, right? The cursor is blinking at you. You know you need to write something. Maybe it's a newsletter for your business. Maybe it's a listing description for a property. Maybe it's an email. Maybe it's a school paper, but you just don't know where to start. Or maybe you know what you want to say, but it takes you about 45 minutes to write 3 paragraphs because you keep rewording things and second guessing yourself. So here's the good news. You don't have to start from scratch anymore. AI can give you a first draft, a solid starting point, and then you can refine it, tweak it, make it sound like you. It's not about the AI writing for you and you just copying and pasting. It's about the AI getting you 80% of the way there. And then you add your voice, your specifics, your personality. And then the best part, this isn't some separate tool you need to learn. It's built right into Google Docs, the same Google Docs that you've probably been using for years. So let me show you how powerful this is. I am going to stop my camera really quick. And I'm going to share this tab instead. And let me minimize this. Okay, so let's say you run a small landscaping business and every month you want to send out a newsletter to your customers. Maybe you want to stay top of mind, share some tips, promote a seasonal service. Totally makes sense, right? That's part of marketing, which someone said they wanted to learn more about. But sitting down to write it every month, that's the part that never happens because you're too busy actually running the business. So watch this. Now I've opened up a blank Google Doc. And as you can see, there's this little button here that's the Gemini button. Might say, so this one is saying generate document. Now I'm going to click it. Okay. Now I'm going to tell Gemini exactly what I want. You could just click one of these to get it started, but I am going to say this right here. Cool. Create a monthly newsletter for my small landscaping business. Include a welcome message, featured service, spring cleanup, 1 tip, best time to fertilize, and a call to action. Keep it friendly and under 600 words. Include eye-catching images or illustrations related to landscaping. Now let's see this magic happen. Cool, you see this, right? It's just doing it for me. Let me make this a little bigger because as I get older, I can't see that good. Now, this pretty much just created the whole document for us in less than 30 seconds. So now I've got a complete newsletter draft. It's got a warm opening. It's talking about fall cleanup services. It's giving me helpful tips like debris removal. Now, this might not be exactly what you want. Maybe the tone isn't quite right, right? Maybe you want to add something specific about your business. That's totally fine because here's where it gets really cool. Let's say I want it to sound more professional. So I'm just going to ask Gemini right here. This is Gemini over in the corner. I'm going to tell it to make the tone more professional. Cool. You see that? It did it right here. We extend a warm welcome to you as the autumn leaves transition, yada, 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 yada. All right here. And I can just tell it, insert it in here, and it'll put the whole thing in here. Or let's say I want to add another section about my referral program. So let me just copy that, put in my prompt. So these are called prompts. I'm prompting the AI on things that I want it to do. So I'm saying, hey, add a section about our referral program. Customers who refer a friend get 10% off. Where did it go? Here it is, right here, the referral program. You can just copy, paste this, and add it into your section. Now, this works for any kind of business. It can be a temporary staffing agency for nursing professionals. This gets you started. You can have an announcement email. Maybe you just hired a new team member. Really, it's promotional content, whatever you need. And now that you have this blueprint, well, now that you have this draft where we talked about like AI getting us 80% there, we can start tweaking it with our industry knowledge. Maybe I want to add my logo. Maybe I don't want this picture, or maybe I want the picture to look more realistic. These are things that I can start swapping out. Now, let's look at another example. So this is for anyone who's in real estate. But honestly, like I said, the principle applies to anyone who needs to write a compelling description about anything. Now, if you're a real estate agent, you know that writing descriptions can be super time consuming. You want to highlight the right features, use the right language, appeal to the right buyers. But you got 10 listings to write this week. And honestly, it's just tedious. So let me show you how AI can speed this up. I'm going to open up a new blank document. A new document. I'm going to share this tab instead. I'm going to do the same thing, generate document. Now my prompt, I'm going to put it right here. Cool. Write a compelling listing description for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. And we are going to say San Diego. The features, it's an updated kitchen, large backyard, near schools, built in 1985. And we want them to emphasize family friendly and move-in ready. 150 words. Now go. We're going to let it generate. Here it is, right? We can see that it's doing exactly what we wanted. Look, discover your dream home in this charming 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in San Diego. Now, here's where you really can tailor it for a specific buyer. So let's tell Gemini that we want this to be a little more luxe, right? And you can change this image out with the image of your property. So we're going to tell Gemini, make it sound more luxurious. Cool. Look, now we got words like opulent, lavishly sized, private sanctuary, a true haven for children. All right, let's go with that because we're trying to sell this house, right? I'm going to put this in here, insert. See how easy that is? It just gets you going. And if it sounds a little too much, you can come in here, like I said, and make it sound more like you. And you can see how the language changed, like the different things that it's talking about. Let's say you want to, actually, let's make this a little more, we're going to take away the looks and say we want this to appeal to first-time buyers. Let's see how that changed. Cool. Look how it changed. Let me make this a little bigger. I almost forgot. There we go. So we go get rid of this looks. And whoops, that too. I'm going to delete you. And we're going to add you in. Perfect. Your first step into San Diego home ownership. Now you see how easy that is. The same property, 3 different descriptions. It literally took us 3 minutes to do this. You still add your personal touch. Maybe you know the neighborhood has an amazing coffee shop, or there's a great park nearby. But AI will give you the framework so you're not starting from zero every single time, right? And this isn't just for real estate. Product descriptions, maybe you have an online Etsy store, same thing. Event descriptions, I know someone talked about that. Let's say you DJ and you want to be able to come in here and make a flyer, same thing. Anything where you need to make something sound appealing, AI can help you do that faster. And let me go back to the presentation. Cool. All right, we're back. Now, before we go on, I just want to plant a couple of seeds, right? Because what we just saw with newsletters and listing descriptions, like I said, that same capability applies to so many other things. Business proposals, right? You need to, and I just realized my camera wasn't on. There we go. Hi. Business proposals, you need to pitch to a potential client, right? So go tell Gemini what you're proposing, what the benefits are, what your timeline is. This will help you get a solid first draft in the first couple of minutes. Email campaigns. Let's say you're running a promotion. You need to announce something to your customer list. Same deal. Give it the details, let it draft something, then you refine it. Student essays. Now, students and parents helping students, this is super important. You can use AI to help organize your thoughts, create an outline, or get feedback on your drive. But you still need to do the actual thinking and writing. Use it as a tool to get unstuck or to improve your work, not to replace your learning, right? So honestly, teachers can tell when something's just copied from AI. Trust me, we all can, right? Now, for event invitations, planning a party, a fundraiser, a community event, AI can help you write the invitation, make it sound fun, professional, whatever you need. And like I said before, if you sell something online, whether it's Etsy, eBay, or your own website, you know how tedious it is to write those descriptions for every single item. AI speeds that up dramatically. Now, the point is, anytime you're staring at a blank page thinking, I need to write something, remember, you don't have to start from scratch, right? Gemini and Google Docs will give you that first draft, and then you take it from there. So let's move on to spreadsheets, because yes, AI can help with those too. Now, I know some of you just groaned internally when I said that word, and honestly, I can feel it through the screen. So here's the thing. Spreadsheets are incredibly powerful. If you're running a business, managing clients, tracking leads, keeping tabs on expenses, spreadsheets are basically essential. But they're also kind of a pain, right? I mean, you sit down to organize information, and it takes forever. You're creating columns, formatting cells, copying and pasting things around. And by the time you're done setting it up, you're exhausted and you haven't even entered your actual data yet. And then there are the formulas. Maybe you should know, maybe you should be using a formula to calculate things automatically, but you don't remember the syntax. Is it sum if, count if, VLOOKUP? And what's the difference between absolute and relative references again? For a lot of us, it's just intimidating. So we end up doing things manually, which defeats the whole purpose of using a spreadsheet. And then analyzing your data, forget about it. There are insights in there. There's patterns, trends, things that can help you make better decisions, but pulling all that information out feels overwhelming. So what do, right? We either avoid spreadsheets altogether and stay disorganized, or we spend way too much time fighting with them. But then there was a but coming, right? AI can help with this. So Sheets now has Gemini built in, and you can set up your spreadsheets, write your formulas, and even help you understand your data. So let me show you what I mean. Let's go to Sheets. All right, share this tab instead. Okay, here we go. Now, let's say you want to track your client outreach. Maybe you're in the industry and you've got a bunch of leads that you need to follow up with. Maybe you run a small business and you need to stay on top of your customer relationships. Whatever it is, you need a system, a spreadsheet to keep everything organized. Normally, you'd open a blank Google Sheet and start creating columns manually. Okay, I need a column for name, one for company, one for email. It's starting to sound familiar, right? And you're spending at least 15 minutes just setting up the structure even before you start entering the data. Now, watch how fast AI does this. So the same thing, we see this little Gemini icon right here, the same in Docs, and I'm going to tell it exactly what I need. So here's a prompt I already have. Cool. And I need to make this bigger because y'all know what I said. Create a client outreach tracking table with columns for name, company, email, last contact date, yada, 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 yada. Cool. We're going to let that work. Here we go. And boom, 5 seconds, I've got a perfectly structured table. All my columns are there. The headers are formatted. It even got the right colors. and it even has like high, medium, and low for the options. This would have taken me at least 10 to 15 minutes to set up manually, and AI just did it instantly. And look, it's populated with realistic example data. There's made up names, companies, email addresses that look real, dates, next actions like schedule showing or schedule demo or send follow-up email. And then there's priorities assigned. So obviously you need to replace this with your actual clients, but now you can see exactly how to use this system. No formula knowledge required. You don't need to format it. You just tell it what it needs and it builds it for you. Now, this applies to any kind of tracking spreadsheet you can think of. Inventory for your business, event planning, budget tracking is super huge. We use that all the time. Lead management, expense reports, whatever it is, AI can set up that structure in a few minutes. Let me go ahead and click insert. There we go. And cool. So let me give you some concrete examples of, let me take that back. Yep. Let me share this screen instead. I wish it can help me switch through the tabs. Maybe I can get an agent one day to do that. So let me give you some concrete examples of how different people might use this, because I know spreadsheets mean different things to different people. Turn my camera back on. And here we go. So if you're a small business owner, customer tracking, that's exactly what we just saw, right? But also inventory management. You can ask Gemini to create an inventory spreadsheet with SKUs, quantities, reorder points, suppliers, or maybe expense tracking. You have it set up categories, calculate totals by month, even create formulas to flag you when you're over budget. If you're in real estate, lead management is huge. We saw that, right? But also property comparisons. You're showing a client 5 different houses, right? Have Gemini create a comparison sheet with price, square footage, bedrooms, neighborhood stats. So that makes it so much easier for clients to make a decision when they can see everything side by side. Now, if you're a parent, budget tracking for the whole household is amazing. And this is something we use in this house. So ask Gemini to set up a family budget with categories, monthly limits, actual spending, and any variance, right? So it'll help you see where your money's actually going. Or kids' activity schedule. So every year when school starts, we get this calendar. I used to have it over here, but I don't need it anymore because of AI. It's a sheet that has no less than 100 dates that you need to know. May 5th is a minimum day. June 1st is, back to school night. Who's going to remember all of that? What I do is I take a picture of the calendar, then I take that image and I put it into something like ChatGPT or Claude, and I tell it, hey, create, based on this document, create meeting invites. And it does it right there. It'll take like maybe 5 minutes to go through it. All I need to do is just click a button, add it to my calendar. Super easy, right? And then with students, let's say research organization, you're working on a paper with 20 different sources. You can have Gemini create a spreadsheet to track all of your citations, your quotes, page numbers, or theme, or even grade tracking, right? So set up a spreadsheet that calculates your own current grade and, shows you what you need to get on the next test to make sure that you get a good grade. But the pattern here is simple. Whatever you need to organize, track, or calculate, AI can build the spreadsheet structure for you in seconds. You just need to know what you want to track. Now, the technical part, all that's handled, right? Now, let's talk about presentations, my favorite, because whether you're pitching a client, presenting to your team, doing a school project, or just trying to say, just trying to share information in a visual way, presentations come up a lot. And we all know the drill. You open PowerPoint or slides. Again, you're staring at a blank slide and think, okay, what should my first slide say? How should I organize this? What should go on slide 3 versus slide 4? And then you spend an hour just on structure before you even start thinking about design. Good news again, right? So AI can help with presentation too. And I'm going to show you how to do 2 different options today because they serve slightly different needs. The first one is Google Slides with Gemini. This is great if you're already comfortable with Google Slides. If you're, let's say you're collaborating with a team that uses Google Workspace, or you just want more control over the final design. Now, Gemini will create the content and the structure for you, and then you can customize it however you want. Now, option 2 is Gamma. So this is for people who want it done even faster and want it to look professional immediately, right? Without doing any design work yourself. So Gamma uses AI to generate not just the content, but also a beautiful finished design. It's almost like magic. Both are incredibly powerful. So let me show you each one, and we'll start with slides. And you know the drill. Let me stop my camera, and I'm going to share this tab instead. Now here we go. It's blinking at us. Like, what are we going to write about, right? Let's say we are going to do, we want to research electric vehicles, and maybe you're thinking about buying one for your family, or maybe you're helping a friend compare options. You want to create a presentation that lays out the pros and cons, compare a few popular models, talks about costs and charging. Now, let me show you how you can do this in Gemini in Google Slides. Now, just like in the other ones, like Docs and Sheets, you can see the Gemini button is right here. We're going to click on that. And then, so this is how it works. So Gemini creates one slide at a time. And I'm going to tell it what I want for each slide, So let's start with the content slide. I'm going to tell it to create a slide about the pros and cons of electric vehicles for families. Boom. So now we wait. It's just thinking, going through to grab some images, figuring out what it wants to say. This one always takes just a second longer than doing it in like how we worked in Sheets or in Docs. Bam, there we go. So look at that. In a few seconds, I've got a slide with a clean layout showing the advantages. What do we see? Lower costs. You get access to tax credits, limited range and charging, and infrastructure can be a concern. Well, yeah, I like that slide. And look, it got an image. Perfect. That's the first slide, right? Now let's get another one. Now we want to create this slide. So now we're going to create a slide comparing 3 electric vehicles: the Tesla Model Y, the Chevy Bolt, and the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Now I want it to include the price range, seating capacity, and the mileage range is a huge concern. Here we go, right? So it's telling me, like, there are all the 3 cars that are right there. And you see, right, this is a perfect example. So I told it to compare pricing and driving range, but it just put that in there. So we still have to look at this before we send it out to anyone to say, oh, it's done. But, it has the next one. So let's do one more slide. We are going to do this one. The thing about AI, like you don't have to be perfect at spelling. I mess up spelling all the time. So I put create instead of create. And I'm sure it's going to know what I mean, right? It understands the context. So create a slide about EV charging options, include home charging, public charging stations, and typical charge times. Here we go. EV charging option. And you see it's giving us information. Home charging is convenient overnight. Plan charging to fit your daily schedule, yada, yada, yada. Level 2, right there on that image, and that's actually correct. So if you have home charging, it's level 2 charging that you have. Insert, right? And you see what's happening here? I'm building my presentation slide by slide. I'm not starting from scratch. I'm telling AI what I want on each slide, and it's creating the content and layout for me. Each slide took about maybe like 10, 15 seconds instead of 10 to 15 minutes. And just like before, if I don't like something, I can ask Gemini to revise it. So make this more concise, add more multicultural people to it, add information about fast charging. And then, you're building a presentation one slide at a time, but you're doing it so much faster than you normally would. It's all about it's all about turning us into a force multiplier. You still have complete control. You can arrange the slides, change the design theme, add images, whatever you need. So this is perfect if you're already comfortable with slides and, you just want to stay in that ecosystem. Now, the next one, I'm going to share this slide with you. Well, this presentation. Let me go back to here, share this tab. Okay, cool. Now, let me show you about Gamma. And this is where things get really fast. With Google Slides and Gemini, we were building it slide by slide, which is still way faster than doing it manually, right? But with Gamma, you're going to give it one prompt and it creates the entire presentation at once. And it doesn't just create it doesn't just create the content, it designs it beautifully, y'all. So let me show you. Let me go back to Gamma. Okay, and if you don't have an account, you can sign up for free. There's a free tier that gives you plenty of credits to create presentations. So I am going to click on Create New, and I am going to do this one. Create from a one-line prompt in a few seconds. Yep, that is the one. Now here is what I am going to give it. Again, this is our prompt. Create a presentation for parents about summer camp options for kids ages 6 to 12. Include the types of camps, day camps, sleepaway camps, yada, yada, yada. We're going to keep this to 10. Actually, I'm going to change this to like 7 so it can go faster. You can see you can go all the way up to 75, but of course you got to pay for the ultra plan. Let's see. I'm going to leave this on default for right now. And then also you can change the language. So we're going to hit, and I also want this to be a presentation, but you can also do this as a web page, a document, or social media. I've only done the first two. I'm not sure what the document or social looks like, but you can play around with that. Oh, do I press? Here we go. So it is going to generate this for me. I told it I wanted this. You need to set a few things, right? Like you want it to be concise. Actually, let me start this over again because I think we're gonna do generate outline. There we go. Cool. It's doing the outline for me. You see how fast this is going? So it's gonna make my 7 slides. Cool. I got that. Yep. Oh, maybe we made 10. No, we did 8. Here we go. I'm going to leave the defaults as they are because it comes out pretty slick like this. So I'm going to make it concise. We want this to be the visual. We can add sounds if we want. We're not going to worry about this AI model. That's just a little more advanced. And the type of pictures we want. I always like illustrations. And then we are going to hit generate. Now, as you watch this, you'll see Gamma is going to create the entire presentation, multiple slides, designed and formatted all at once. And look at that. You can see how it's going. Each slide is doing that. And this is super cool and fast. We're already at slide 4, right? Imagine how long this would have taken you to format this. Now I could just hit play and, hit generate and go take my dog for a walk real quick. Actually, I said that word. Hopefully he doesn't hear me. Okay. So it finished it. It created this presentation for us. Let's start it back up at the top. I mean, if you're not impressed by now, like, you know, put some emojis in the chat. Like that's super cool. Like I'm starting to geek out a little bit. Look, you have like the types of summer camps, and it's got like all this text in here. You can change it if you want. You can change out the image. Like this looks good, right? Like what are the benefits for your child? Of course, it builds social skills, encourages activity. What to look for when choosing a camp. Now, this is all stuff that you need to read over really thoroughly before you share it out, because you are the expert. AI just got you 80% there, and then you just made up for, you know, the 20%. Now, this isn't just bullet points on a white background. You see, it's like a fully designed presentation with colors, layouts, images, icons, all coordinated and looking professional. And if I don't like something, you know, I can edit each individual slide, or maybe I want to add a comment or change it. You can do all that. So this is perfect for when you need something done fast and you want it to look good immediately. You're not a designer, doesn't matter. Gamma can handle that for you. So that's the difference, right? Google Slides with Gemini gives you more control and fits into your existing Google workflow. And, you know, that's great if you're working with a team or want to customize heavily. Now, Gamma gives you the speed and beautiful design right out of the gate. It's perfect for when you need something impressive. And both are incredibly powerful. It just, you know, it just depends on what you need. And let me go back to my camera option again. There we go. So let me give you a quick guide on when to use each tool, because I know some of you are thinking, okay, which one should I actually use? Now, use Google Slides with Gemini when, like I said, you want more control over the final product. And you're the kind of person who likes to tweak things, adjust the layout, really make it your own. Or you're working with a team. So if your coworkers are already using Google Workspace, everyone can collaborate on the same presentation in real time, just like you're used to. Or when you need that Google integration, maybe you want to embed this in a Google site, or share it with your company's Google Drive structure, or present it in the meeting, make it all work together seamlessly. Now, you use Gamma if you want something done fast, like really fast. Let's say you got a presentation in 2 hours and you're starting from zero. Or when you want it to look professional immediately and you don't have the time, or frankly, the skills to make it look good yourself. Don't worry about it. Gamma will handle all the design work, the colors, the layout, the graphics. We just saw that, right? It's going to look polished right out of the gate. Or honestly, when you just don't want to think about design at all and you want to focus on the content and have AI make it look pretty. Now, here's the truth. You can't go wrong with either one. They're both massive time savers. So try both and see which one fits your workflow better. You might end up using Google Slides for work projects and Gamma for personal stuff, or, you know, vice versa. The important thing is that you now know you don't have to spend 3 hours building a presentation from scratch anymore. Those days are over. Let's just move on to the research tools. Let me grab some more. Okay, now when I say research, I mean anytime you need to learn something by gathering information from multiple sources. Maybe you're a student writing a paper and you've got 10 different articles you need to read and synthesize. Maybe you're a business owner researching whether to expand into a new market. Or maybe you're a parent trying to understand treatment options for a medical condition. Or maybe you're just someone who's curious and wants to deeply understand a topic. And here's how that used to work, and probably still works for most of you. Now, the old way, let's say you find 10 articles or 5 PDFs or a bunch of web pages. You read through all of them. You take your notes, you try to remember what source said what, you're highlighting things, and then you're making connections between different sources. You're organizing your thoughts, and after several hours, maybe several days, you finally have a coherent understanding of the topic. That was exhausting to say, right? You know, and it It's time consuming. And honestly, you probably miss some important connections because there's just too much information to hold in your head at once. Now, let me show you the new way. The new way is you upload all those sources, your articles, your PDFs, your documents, your links, anything you got to a tool called NotebookLM. And the AI reads everything, analyzes it, finds the connections, and give you instant insights. You can ask it questions and it answers based on your specific sources, with citations showing you exactly where that information came from. Now, we're talking about taking hours of work and reducing that all the way down to minutes. And you can actually get better insights because the AI can process and connect information faster than a human brain can. So let me show you a real world example. Let's say I'm thinking about opening an EV charging station in Orange County, California. Maybe I see the growth in electric vehicles and I think this could be a good business opportunity, but I have no idea where to start. So what do? Like most people do, I start Googling. I find all these documents, California regulations, permit requirements, accessibility standards, incentive programs, training requirements. Now, I've already downloaded 13 different PDFs because to me, they all seem relevant, right? Now, the old way, and I honestly did this maybe about like 3 years ago, I spent days reading through all those documents, taking notes, trying to figure out what applies to me, what I need to do first, what the costs are. It was overwhelming. So let me show you how to do this with NotebookLM. And let me stop my camera once again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is create a new notebook. Let me get rid of that. And I am going to upload my sources, all those PDFs I told you about. It is on my desktop. Here it is. EV charging. Y'all see this? How many documents I had to go download? Now I have all these documents. I'm putting it into NotebookLM as a source. But it didn't just have to be a document. I could have put a YouTube video. I could have put a website. I could have copied paste from wherever I needed it to go. And my source limit is 300. That's pretty large. Like you probably won't even get, the most I've gotten is to like 190. Cool. So now we have all this information in here. And what I'm going to do is let me start asking it questions like I'm having a conversation with the expert who's read all of those documents, right? So let me do this. Cool. What are the key considerations for opening an EV charging station in Orange County, California? It's going to do its thing. It's going to start thinking. And it's synthesizing through all of those documents that I have over on the left. Cool. Look at all this information. So I need to make this a little bigger, just a little bit. There we go. Look at all this information. Orange County is in SoCal. There's incentive program. It's called Cal EVIP. This was allocated using 29 million in funding. And these little ones that let you know that's the resource that it pulled it from. So these are all the sources that I got from the California state about this program. It lets me know about the new laws that were passed, AB 970 and AB 136. Here's things about accessibility compliance. Here's financial incentives. That's given us everything we need, right? So look at that. There's even, like I said, it's 29 million in funding available. I can get a rebate of 80,000 per fast charging station and 7,500 for level 2. Cool. It's breaking down the regulatory requirements I need to comply with. And like I said, there are specific accessibility standards I have to meet. So different dimensions for van accessible spaces, standard accessible, and ambulatory spaces. And let's see, let me ask it something else. So what's the typical cost to set up, and are there incentives available? It's starting to think. There we go. It's super helpful, right? It's telling me that the installation costs are generally 3 to 5 times the cost of the charger itself. So if the equipment costs $20,000, I'm looking at like 60,000 to 100,000 total. And in California, look at that, costs 22% more to build than the national average. I mean, this is super helpful. And the good news is, remember those rebates I mentioned, up to 80,000 per fast charging? That can offset a huge portion of that cost. And now we're going to keep going. So this gives us, a good information about this. Now, this is one of my favorite things. I'm gonna just generate this and I'm gonna start talking and just let it do its thing. So the audio overview, that will generate an AI podcast. So you'll have two hosts, it's just the audio only, having a natural conversation about everything in your documents. Now, it's perfect for when you're driving, let's say you're working out or you're doing dishes. You can absorb your research while multitasking. It's just going to talk about all those documents I have on the left-hand side, and it's just going to synthesize all that information to a podcast format. And there's another one called this one is brand new. It's called the video overview. So NotebookLM will create an actual video presentation with visuals, graphics, and text overlays explaining your content. Now I'm going to push it and see if I can do both at the same time. Yes, we're going to keep doing that. We can make flashcards. So again, imagine like if your child was trying to learn a subject, they can get quizzed on that information. You can have a report. The mind maps are really good. So when I'm working with a client and I'm getting a client handoff, meaning like another rep is giving me this information about the client, I put everything that they gave me in here and I'll do a mind map. So the mind map is letting me know like who the key decision makers are, who they report to. It will pretty much put all of that out there for me. I'm gonna just keep letting that go. And we'll probably come back to that because it's going to take a second. Now, this is what modern research looks like. You take hours of reading all of that heavy work, and you're going to condense it down into minutes of targeted information, delivered however you want to consume it, right? So we're just going to let that go. By the time I finish this next slide, I'm hoping it'll be done. And like I said, NotebookLM is my favorite tool to use. Now, I use the example of opening an EV charging station, but let me talk to you about how different people might use NotebookLM in their daily lives. And let me turn my camera back on. Now, imagine. Let me make sure I have this open so I can keep an eye on it when it's ready. Cool. And here we go. Imagine you're writing a research paper, and like I said, you have 15 different academic articles, PDFs, and sources. Now, instead of reading everything line by line and trying to remember which source said what, you upload them all to NotebookLM. Ask it to identify the main arguments across sources, find contradictions, or create a summary of each perspective, and get cited answers instantly. It's really like having a research assistant who's read everything and can pull up all of that relevant information on demand. Now, if you're a business owner, let's say we talked about this, you're considering expanding into a new market. You've got competitor reports, market research documents, industry trend analysis, customer surveys. You got everything, right? Don't worry, upload all of that. Ask NotebookLM. What are the biggest risks mentioned across these documents? Or what do customers consistently complain about in this market? Now, it'll synthesize everything and show you patterns you might have missed reading document by document. Now, that's competitive intelligence at your fingertips. For parents, maybe you're researching schools for your child. You've downloaded information packs from 5 different schools. You've read the articles about educational approaches. You've downloaded the district scores. Put it all into NotebookLM. Ask it, which schools have the strongest STEM programs, or compare the extracurricular offerings across these schools. Or maybe you're researching a medical condition. You can upload those articles from a reputable source like WebMD, and then ask questions to understand treatment options, side effects, what questions to ask the doctor. Now, it helps you become an informed advocate for your child or your loved one. Now, real estate professionals, let's say that you're researching a neighborhood for a client. Now, you've got market trend reports, you've got demographic data, schools ratings, development plans. Upload everything and ask, what's the average price appreciation over the last 5 years? What new developments are planned that may affect property values? Maybe you have FIFA coming to your area, or maybe like us, coming to the LA area, you have the LA Olympics. So you're giving your clients insight that's backed by data, and you're doing it super fast. Now, as we see, the pattern here is clear. Anytime you have multiple sources of information and need to understand them quickly, NotebookLM, hands down, that's your tool. It doesn't replace reading, but it makes research, dramatically more efficient. Now, let me go back and see if it's done yet. Nope, it's still taking its time, and that's fine. We don't expect this to be this part to be super fast, because we know that it's going through all of those documents, and as you'll hear the people come on there and do the audio. Let me do before. Okay, let me share this. So I went to one thing I forgot to show you is that when you're creating the custom, when you're creating an audio overview, hit this little button right here. You can say do a deep dive. So that's a lively conversation between two hosts. You can make it a brief, a critique, or a debate. You can make the length shorter, longer, or default. You can choose the language. And this is pretty good. Like, you have all of these languages in here to choose from. So I'm going to do a deep dive, and you could give it things that the host should focus on in this episode. I'm going to do shorter for this one. So I'm going to push this to the limit. And the same thing with the video overview. We can have it as an explainer, or we make it a brief. We can choose the visual style. I'm going to let it decide which one to choose. I'm going to do an auto select because, why not trust it? We'll just come back in a few minutes, and I'll just keep double checking this one as well as another one. Give me 1 second so I can open that up and make sure I'm keeping eyes on it. Here we go. Share this tab. Yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes. But I do have some that are already created. Let me just kind of show you what that was looking like. Let me change to my personal account. And cool. This was a company that I was looking into, and I want to do this one. So it's the same thing. I gave it all of the sources, and I told it to create this.
All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about a company that just popped out of stealth mode with a pretty massive claim. They say they found the fix for the biggest, most expensive traffic jam in the entire world of AI. The company is called Diapelago.
It did all of these slides for me.
GPU
It
to run
got
that
all that
specific job.
information. Okay. Like, I'm impressed. Like, you got to be impressed at this, right? And then look at the
Today we're tackling a problem that's, well,
you hear that?
It's
that's
growing
a podcast.
exponentially. We're talking about the sheer volume and speed demanded by today's data landscape.
Watch,
I'm going to AI shaking everything up.
Can you tell me more about what this is talking about? I'm gonna ask to join.
Oh, wait. Someone wants to join. Hey, go for it. Go for it.
Can you tell me like what Diapelago is and what it's talking about? Did you hear me? just like tech, right? It's gonna stop. It's not gonna act right when I'm doing it live. Let's go back. We're gonna play this.
Yeah, it often feels like you're just drowning. Welcome. Today we're tackling a problem that's, well, it's.
Oh, hey, welcome. What's up?
Hey, can you tell me what you're all going to be talking about? Yeah, we'll do it later, but
welcome. Today we're tackling a problem that's, well, it's
but
growing
let me just stop this right now. But at least that's showing you how you can get like this is real world example. Like I was trying to find out more information about this company. I found everything online and I came in here and started doing my my studying on it, which is amazing. Like again, like I'm super impressed with that. This is the main tool that I use every day at work. And let's get back to it. Okay, now here we go. So I talked about this, like, why is this such a game changer? So let me break it down to you on, why this makes NotebookLM so powerful. First, it just saved me hours of reading and note taking. We just saw this with the EV charging station example, right? 13 documents that have taken me days to read and synthesize. I got the key information in minutes. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not laziness, it's efficiency. You're getting straight to the insights without wading through everything. And second, it finds connections between sources. Now, this is huge. When you're reading through documents one at a time, you might miss that document 3 contradicts document 7, or that 3 different sources all mention the same risk factor. NotebookLM sees across all your sources simultaneously. It can identify patterns, contradictions, common things, things that are hard for a human brain to track when you're dealing with a lot of information. And third, it cites where the information came from. So this is what separates NotebookLM from just asking ChatGPT. Every answer shows you exactly which document and source and which section the information came from. Like when I hovered over that small little number 1, you can go and verify it. You can dig deeper if you want to. You're not just trusting AI, you're using AI to navigate your own trusted sources. Now, that's critical for anything that's important. And fourth, it creates study guides automatically. Those audio and video or overviews we just saw, that's an automatic study guide. Students can use that audio overview to review for exams. Got an SAT coming up? Feed NotebookLM everything that you can find or example questions on the SAT and how to structure your responses. Let's say business owners need, you can use the audio overview to brief your team. You can generate those summaries in multiple formats without doing any work besides pushing a couple buttons. Now, this isn't about replacing thinking or reading. It's about working smarter. It's about getting to that information that matters faster, so you can spend your time on the decision and actions that matter, not just sifting through documents. We all have a life to live. Maybe you need to go take your kid to a basketball game. You can pop in that podcast, and at the same time while you're driving, you're listening to like what you need to do at work the next day. Now, let's move forward to our next tool, which is Google Vids for visual storytelling. Now, a challenge that a lot of people face, especially if you're running a business or working on a creative project, you've done it, right? You have an idea. Maybe it's a service you want to offer, a product you want to launch, a video you want to create. The idea is clear in your head. You can see it, you understand it, but when you try to explain to other people, it's super hard. You're sitting there saying, hey, so imagine this happens, and then this, and then that. And then you start seeing their eyes glazing over, or you're trying to pitch something and you wish you can just show them instead of telling them, right? Or maybe you want to create a promotional video, but you don't know where to start. What should be in each scene? What's the sequence? How do you structure the message? Now, this is where Google Vids come in. It's a tool that helps you storyboard, basically plan out your visual content. You tell it what you want to create, and it helps you visualize how it should flow, scene by scene. Now, let me show you what I mean with a real example. Perfect. Let's say I run a dog walking service. I want to create a short promotional video, maybe 30 seconds long, that I can post on social media or my website. Now, I know what the message is that I want to convey, but guess what? I'm not a video producer. I don't know how to structure it. Now watch this. I'm going to open up Google Vids. Here we go. And this is part of Google Workspace. So if you have access to Google Docs and Sheets, you probably have access to this too. Now I'm going to start a new project and tell Vids what I want to create. Let me copy over my prompt because we love a good prompt. And I want to do storyboard. Here it is. Create a storyboard for a 30-second video promoting my dog walking service. We're saying include an owner worried about their dog being at home, our friendly walker arriving, happy to walk the dog, satisfied owner coming home. You know, make it warm and trustworthy. Here we go. This is the storyboard. The owner looks sad, the owner looks sad at the dog, and then at the clock, feeling guilty, you know, about leaving for work. And then it's a close-up on the dog's sad eyes as the owner leaves. This is all storyboarded for us. We just go hit next. Now we need to select the design. What do we want? Which one looks like a dog? Yeah, this one does. We're gonna do that. Cool. So it's showing us what it's gonna look like. Go ahead and create. Now it's going to make everything consistent. It's gonna do it. Take a second. While it's doing that, I'm gonna flip back and see. Yep, our EV charger has finished. Let me close out a few things. Just give me 1 second. I'm on another tab. Okay, cool. You see that? It got it all right here for us. Let me hit play.
Welcome to Happy Paws, Happy Owners, your trusted partner for premium dog walking services. We understand the guilt you feel when leaving your furry friend home alone. You're off to work, and your dog gives you those sad eyes. The clock ticks, and you wish they weren't alone all day. That look of longing as you walk out the door, it's heartbreaking.
I mean, is that cool or is that cool? That gotta be cool, right? Like that just created that for us. Like exactly, right? Like that's just something that we created from the time that we were talking. This is a 1-minute video, and I can take this 1 minute 20-something video, put it into another AI tool and tell it give me clips for TikTok, and I probably got like 15 to 20 different clips that I can use from TikTok. Like that. This is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Like this is super cool. And that's why I always say like AI is more than just what you see in ChatGPT. Let me go to this really quick because this really quick. I wish I
But what if your dog's day could be filled with joy and adventure?
I would send them this. Like here,
our friendly, trustworthy dog walkers arrive with a warm smile, ready.
Do you see those videos? Like that, those are all professional looking videos, but AI generated that for us.
To make your dog's day. Watch your dog's tail wag with pure excitement, knowing a fun adventure is about to begin. We don't just walk dog.
Amazing, right? And then like, here's what's really cool. I can edit any of those scenes. I can change the text out. I can either record myself, all of that. Like I can just change like how this is looking. Like maybe I don't want it to slide. I want it to fade. Cool, now I have that one doing the fade. Or maybe this voice, maybe I want to change that AI voiceover, right? I want to listen. So this is the one it is.
Come home to a happy, contented companion.
Yeah, that's the one that's playing. Let's listen to, so see the options. We can do an educator, teacher. Let's do a coach. Yeah, let's see. Let's see how that sounds.
Come home to a happy, contented companion.
You see, you can just change that. Maybe I just want to, let me look again. We can do a teacher. Can I play it
The
from
voice
here?
you select makes a difference in how viewers will respond to your video. It should fit your video's purpose and style.
It should. We'll select you. And then all I need to do is click a button, update it. And it's going to change that out, right? Now let's listen.
Come home to a happy, contented companion.
It's so cool. It's like magic. And if you know, you can get a little fancy with this. Let's say you want to do an AI avatar. Like here are the ones that you can
The
have.
voice you select makes a difference in how viewers will respond to your video.
We can go with Jada, and what it is, like we'll preview this.
You return home to find your dog tired, happy, and resting comfortably after their exciting outing.
You just put that in there. That's super cool. I really like that. And then it takes something, you know, let's see, here's what's really cool. Like I said, I can edit any of those scenes. I can change the text or whatever. But even if I don't create the actual video right now, this storyboard is incredibly valuable. Like it's showing me exactly what I need to film, what message each scene should convey, and how to structure the whole thing. Now, let's say if I decide to shoot this on my phone this weekend, I have the complete roadmap. Or if I can hire someone to create it, I can send them this storyboard and they'll know exactly what I want. So this takes something that feels overwhelming. How do I make a video? And it breaks it down into a clear, manageable pieces with a professional design applied. Let me go back to my, oh wait, we saw that, give me one moment. Cool, let me share this tab. So note to self, don't try to do both of these at the same time. You'll get one that fails. So this is the podcast one.
Welcome to the deep dive. We take those really complex systems, pull together the source material, and well,
I gotta try this again.
welcome to the deep dive. We take those really complex systems, pull together the source material. Oh, hey, our listener wants to join in. What's up?
Can you tell me about the EV charging program? Like, is there a lot of demand for it? Okay, note to self, don't use that one. We'll just keep going. And you know, I'm glad I showed that, because some things, you know, work as intended and some don't, which what we just saw. So let's go to the next thing. The next one, now let me give you some other examples of like different ways people can use like Google Vids. You can do pitch deck with visuals. Let's say you're pitching investors or clients. You want to create a storyboard that shows how your product or service works step by step. It helps you refine your pitch and gives you a visual outline on how you can turn them into slides. Let's say you're doing a training video for infection control nurses, right? You need to create a training material for your employees. So Vids can help you plan out what needs to be taught in what order. It can break down that complex process into a digestible scene. And this is huge for small businesses that need to onboard people, but don't have, let's say, a dedicated training department. Social media and content planning, right? Now, you know, you should be posting more on Instagram or TikTok, but you don't know what to create. That's fine. Use Vids to storyboard a week's worth of content. Let's say scene 1, show the problem. Scene 2, introduce your solution. Scene 3, now the result. Now you have a template you can follow. Let's say you're like a company like Yolanda's Crafty Creations, and she creates these beautiful, I wish I had one with me, but basically she has something like this, and she'll be able to put like a picture on here. So maybe she can use that to create like different content for her social media campaign. Let's say like you have a new product and you need to launch that, right? Just create a storyboard showing how someone would use it from start to finish. Now, this will help you identify what's actually important to show versus what's just noise. Now, the patterns here, like anytime you need to communicate something visually, or you need to plan out a sequence of events, Google Vids can help you structure it. You don't need to be a filmmaker. You don't even need expensive software. You just need to be able to describe what you want, and then the AI helps you organize it. All right, so we're getting close to the end. Let's talk about something really important: safety and how to spot fakes. Now we're going to take a poll. So when using AI tools, what is the most important thing to keep in mind? A, protecting sensitive or private information. Double checking accuracy of information. Using AI responsibly and transparently. So just type your answer in the chat. A, B, and C. A, yep, absolutely. B, B. Yep, this is good. This is good. Good one, good one. Okay, so we've covered a lot of amazing tools today, but before we wrap up, I need to talk about something really important and how to use AI safely and responsibly. Here's the thing: these tools are incredibly powerful, but it's not magic and they're not perfect. You need to understand a few things. So first, these tools are learning from your inputs. So when you put information into certain tools, that data might be used to train or improve the AI models, depending on the tool and your settings. And we'll talk about, what you should and shouldn't share in a minute. Second, you need to be smart about sensitive information. Now, there are certain things you should never put into AI, no matter how convenient it would be. And third, this is huge. So AI has made it easier than ever to create fake images, videos, fake information. So you also need to learn how to spot fakes and verify what's real. Now, this isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to empower you to use these tools confidently and safely. So let's break this down. Here we go. Let's look at privacy. So here's a simple framework for what you should and shouldn't put into AI tools. Now, things that you should never put in there: your social security numbers, yours or anyone else's, passwords or login credentials, confidential business data like client information with personally identifiable details. Let's say proprietary formulas, trade secrets, private medical records with full details. Think of AI tools as semi-public spaces. Even though they feel private, you should assume the information could potentially be seen or used by others. And so there are some things to be careful with. So full financial details, let's say your complete bank account numbers, your credit card information, proprietary information your company told you not to share, anything you've signed an NDA about, or anything that would get you or someone else in trouble if leaked, right? Now, you can ask general questions like how the mortgages work. Now, that's fine. But here's my exact financial situation with account numbers. That's not fine. So here's the simplest rule. Before you put anything into an AI tool, ask yourself, would I post this on Facebook or Twitter publicly? If the answer is no, don't put it in AI. Now, you can use AI to help with sensitive topics. You just need to anonymize and generalize it. So instead of my client, Mark Smith, who lives at 12351 Glenfield, you can say a client in their 50s, instead of your actual financial numbers, you use example numbers. Make sense? Okay, good. Now let's talk about something even more important, which is spotting fakes. This is one of the most important things I'm going to show you today. So AI has made it incredibly easy to create fake endorsements, right? That look completely real. And these fakes are everywhere, like fake concert announcements, fake celebrity endorsement, fake news stories, fake government alerts. So look at this example. Now, this is the Sade Echoes in the Dark Tour 2026. We got the world tour dates in London, Paris, Rome, Johannesburg, and so on. This looks super professional, right? And y'all probably seen this, on your timeline. It's a high quality image, nice design, specific dates and cities. Now, if you're a fan of Sade and this showed up on your Facebook feed or someone sent it to you, you might get excited and start looking for tickets, right? But here's the problem. This is a fake. This tour doesn't exist. Now, how do we know that? So let me show you a verification process. Now, you should go to the official source. Let's say we're gonna Sade concert page. I'm gonna share this tab instead. Here we go. This is her official site. We see it, www.sade.com. Click here for the official website. Now, as we're reading through this, just give me 1 second. I just want to make sure. Can you all still hear me? Can you do a thumbs up if I'm still good? You're good? All right, perfect. So we'll keep going. So we're going to go through this site. I always reject cookies, so I don't want those tracking me. Let's go here to see if she got some tour dates, right? Okay, events, we're getting close. Let's see look at that. There are no events. Past events, you can click here, future events, sign up here. Well, let's see when her past event was. Y'all, the last time she toured was 2011 in Abu Dhabi. Okay, so now we're starting to figure out something not right in the middle. Let me just go back, share this tab. Cool, so we saw that, right? Then you can take it further if you want. Like, go to her verified Instagram, Twitter, Facebook page. Like, if she didn't post anything about this poster or new music, it's not true, right? Now, you can actually have AI help you with this. So I'm going to go to Claude, and I am going to upload a file. I think I have it here. Where is Sade? Or did I put it on my desktop? Yep, Sade. And what I'm going to ask it is, oh my God, is this real or not? So it's thinking. So you can even open this up to see what it's doing. Look, it's saying let us think about it. This is the band. Cool. It's searching more information. Still thinking, like Dark World Tour. And anybody who knows Sade, she doesn't put I do on here. See, nah, it's not real. It's just the viral rumors and fan-made content. See, she hasn't toured since 2011. So that's how, like, if we see something that looks too good to be true, and I know we say this all the time, but with AI, you really have to stop and think about it. Like, is this really happening? All we need to do is go through those simple checks that we went through, and you're safe now, right? Because what some people would try to do, it seems harmless, but there were actual links to buy the tickets that people were clicking on and spending money, and now they're scammed, right? They scammed out of their hard-earned money. So again, like the lesson here, if you see something that seems urgent, concert tickets, political announcements, act now offers, always verify it. Like, go to the official source, check reliable news outlets. And if you don't have all of that, go into, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, ask it like, hey, is this real? I need help verifying this. Now, while we're on the subject of talking about being careful, I also need to talk about AI's limitations, because AI is not perfect, and you need to know that. It can make mistakes. It's called hallucinating. Now, the AI will sometimes just make things up that sound plausible, but y'all, they're completely wrong. It might cite, a study that doesn't exist, give you a stat that's inaccurate, or confidently tell you something that's false. So here's what you need to do. Always review what AI creates. If AI writes the email for you, you need to read it before you send it. If it creates a spreadsheet, check the numbers. If it generates a presentation, make sure the facts are correct. Never blindly trust it. Now, you need to fact check important information. If AI tells you something that matters, let's say medical advice, legal information, financial data, you need to verify. Look it up. Check with an expert. You can use AI as the starting point, never the final word. Now, don't blindly trust numbers or data. Now, AI can do the calculations, but it can get them wrong sometimes. If you're using AI to analyze data or create formulas, you need to spot check the results. Make sure they make sense. Use your professional judgment. You're the expert in the field, not the AI. So if AI suggests something that doesn't feel right, it doesn't match your experience, or it seems off, you have something that AI doesn't, which is your gut. You need to trust it. You have the context and the expertise that the AI doesn't. So the bottom line, AI is a tool, a very powerful tool, but at the end of the day, it's just a tool. You're still the one making those decisions, taking responsibility, and adding the human judgment that the AI can't provide. So think of it like a calculator. A calculator is incredibly useful, but if you accidentally hit the wrong button and it gives you a weird answer, you catch that because you understand math. Same with AI. You need to understand enough to catch when it's wrong. And here's how I always think about AI. It's like having a smart college graduate working for you around the clock. They quick, they're knowledgeable, and they never get tired, but they're fresh out of school, right? So they don't have your industry expertise or your real world judgment. Always get stuck on that word. But listen, you've got the experience. So you need to review their work and add that final layer of, let's say, professional insights that only you can add. And let me leave you with some best practices, some practical tips, for actually using these tools effectively. So first, start with small tasks to help build your confidence. Don't try to use AI for your most important project on day one. Start with something low stakes. Ask it to help you write an email, have it create a simple spreadsheet, generate some ideas for social media posts. Get comfortable with how it works before you rely on it for critical stuff. And second, be specific with your requests. The more specific you are, the better results you'll get. That's those prompts we were talking about. So instead of saying, write me a newsletter, say, write a newsletter for my landscaping business, 300 words, friendly tone, include a tip about fall lawn care. So the details matter. And third, you need to iterate. Rarely are you going to get exactly what you want on the first try. And, that's okay. If the AI gives you something that's close but not quite right, tell it what to change. Make this more professional, make it shorter, change the tone to be more enthusiastic, add a section about pricing. You're having a conversation, not giving it one command. And fourth, save good prompts that you can reuse. Like I have a whole document of good prompts that I use. So when you find a prompt that works really well, save it somewhere. Keep a document, like I said, of your best prompts. So that way you can use them again and again. A good one is writing a listing description for a 3-bedroom house becomes a template you can adjust for every property. And finally, when in doubt, verify. We just saw this with the Sade example. So if something seems too good to be true, if the information is surprising, if you're making an important decision based on the AI output, take a moment to, to verify that it's actually true. Check the source, look it up, ask the expert. These tools are here to make your life easier, not to replace your thinking. Use them wisely, use them ethically, of course, and then use them with healthy skepticism. And with that, let's wrap it up. I got one more poll for y'all. So which AI tool are you most excited to try? So I'm excited to see some of your answers for this one. Is it A, Otter AI or Google Meet, Gemini with Google Docs, that's sheets and slides. Maybe it's NotebookLM or Gamma, and I'm going to put E for Vids. Oh yeah, good one. B, C, and D. C, yes, C is good. That is really good. Okay, so we've covered a lot today. Let's take a moment to recap. So here's your brand new AI toolkit, and these slides, these tools these are the tools you need to know and how to use. So first, you've got Google Meet and Otter. That's like for transcription. Now they automatically capture everything that's said in your meetings. You can use Google Meet, like it has built-in transcription, but Otter works across all of them. So you can do Otter AI. That's for like Zoom, Teams, or meeting, or you can even record in-person meetings if you use a phone. And then there's Google Docs with Gemini. So use that for writing anything, newsletters, emails, client updates. Give it a first draft. It gives you a first draft so you can focus on just adding your voice. Then Google Sheets with Gemini, we saw that it helps manage your information without being a spreadsheet expert. You have Google Slides with Gemini. It helps you create those presentations slide by slide, or you can use Gamma to create the whole entire thing. My fave again, NotebookLM. That's like your research powerhouse, right? Upload all those documents, get insights from it, and create those audio podcast overview. Another good one is Google Vids. So that'll help you storyboard your ideas, scene by scene. And then just for verification or fact checking, you've got Claude and Chat. So use them to cross check details or get second opinions on information you're unsure about. So those are your tools. You've seen them in action. You understand what they do. And here's the really good news, right? Almost everything we covered today is free or it has a free tier. Most of Google's tools already have Gemini features built in. You might just need to, enable them in your settings. Gamma, like I showed you, that gives you free credits. Otter, that's free for calls under 30 minutes. NotebookLM, and then both Claude and ChatGPT, they have free versions as well. So here's my challenge to you, and I'm serious about this one. Just pick one tool to try this week. Don't try to master everything at once. It's super overwhelming. Instead, ask yourself, what would make the biggest difference for me right now? Maybe you've got a meeting tomorrow and you want to test transcription. Maybe you've been putting off writing that newsletter and Gemini can help save you. Or, maybe you're researching something complex and NotebookLM could put everything together for you. Pick one, try it, see how it works for you, get comfortable with it, and then add another one later, right? So the goal isn't to become an AI expert overnight. The goal is to make, one part of your life a little easier this week. That's it, just one step. So we've been doing this for about 90 minutes now. You've been great. Thank you for sticking with me and for all your questions in the chat throughout. I saw Shannon was answering them. If you have questions about anything we covered today, or honestly anything AI related that we didn't cover, now's your chance to ask. There's a raising hand feature. If you see it at the bottom, you see the little hand. Just click that. If you want to ask a question, just go ahead and ask that. And if you're shy or prefer typing, you can still drop a question in the chat. I have time, I'll answer those too. Or, maybe you want to see something again, or maybe something, wasn't clear. So now's the time. And I wanted to leave, put my contact information up here. So take a screenshot, please feel free to reach out with some questions, or if you would be interested in doing a deeper dive on a specific tool. I know we covered a lot. Let's see. How do I balance using AI for writing with keeping your own authentic voice and tone? That's a really good one, and I struggled with that. The best thing I would do is say, give it context. Maybe there were some emails or papers that you wrote back in the day. Grab that information, and let me show you right here. Grab that information and put it into chat, right? So maybe I want to start a new chat and I want to say, hey, based on this past email or whatever it is, right? Based on that, my tone, can you write me an email that conveys this one thing? And I think that's a really great way to do that. And I see we have Jean.
I was just going to ask on Vids how you would upload. Well, I guess you just shoot stuff with your camera, and then how do you upload it in Vid to all those shots to use in the storyboarding.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Share this tab instead. It is right here. You can upload. So you would just upload right here.
Oh, easy. Okay. And they have templates there you can use too.
They have templates. You can have a avatar. And honestly, you may have seen these and really not noticed that they were avatars. So what people have been doing now is they will create like an explainer video on like any random topic, and they have an avatar doing it. And they're just taking pieces of it and posting it online.
Very amazing.
Mm-hmm,
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have someone else? Go ahead. Was it someone else that had their hand up? I heard a ding.
Looks like Verna.
Verna, yeah.
Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, sweetie. Thank you so much. I was scared to death to attend, but I am so very glad I did. You took all the fears away, and I can do it one thing at a time. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Love you. See ya.
I love you too.
Okay.
Let's see. I got another question. Do you have a favorite prompt or tips for getting better results from these AI tools? I do. My favorite is I say humanize and get rid of the M dashes. That's that long dash. That if you see that in someone's post, for me, I know I'm like, okay, AI was cooking for you. Like AI wrote that. I would say make it human. Don't use any M dashes, and I start from there. And then I go. So a lot of times when I prompt it, AI just likes to spit out all this information. And it seems cool because the first thing you want to do is just copy and paste. But when you think about like our attention span and how far you scroll when you're reading an email, you're probably only reading like the first 5 to 10 lines. So I tell AI like, hey, write me I code email a lot. So write me a code email that's less than 100 characters in a friendly tone. So that helps that helps me out a lot. You're welcome. You're welcome. This is a good one. So what's the difference between ChatGPT and Claude? Everyone seems to just talk about ChatGPT. So the difference is, for me, I think Claude is really good at writing and coding. So Claude is really good at writing something. So you can see right here, I already have a project called Data Backfill Newsletter. I use that to create my newsletters. Chat, I use it as my new search tool, right? Let's say I'm trying to figure out like how many miles is 100 kilometers? I open up Chat and I ask that, like all my silly like questions that I have just going about the day, or like I'm sitting here and I'm just wondering like, what's Michael Jackson's middle name? I open it up and I ask Chat. But they're both the same. So as you get to use both of them, you'll figure out like, oh, I get better results when I'm using Claude. So I use them. Actually, I have like three or four. I won't say how many I have, but they're all very different as far as, let's say if I'm coding and I get stuck, Claude would keep putting me in this loop. Like, did you try this? And I'm like, yes, you told me 8 times. I tried that. So once I feel like I get to that I get blocked, I'll take everything that Claude gave me and I'll put it into ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, can you help me get unstuck? Sure, here's the answer. And I just kind of go back and forth between the two. But at the end of the day, they're the same. It's just a different model that you would use. That's a great question though. I have Copilot at work. What do you think of it? I think Copilot is okay. I don't use it personally to code. Yeah, it's okay. It depends, right? Like I do a lot of coding, so I'll use like Visual Studio Code. So I'll come in and ask, let me see, I don't want to share that. I won't show this because I don't want to bore you and geek out too much with all the code, but it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. All right, this is recorded, so I'll send you all like a recap of what we went through, and I'll download these slides as well, and I'll send it to your email. If you have any questions, here's my contact information again. Let me just share that page. Here we go. You can do that. Maybe you have a group and you want me to come talk to them about AI, and it's specific for you want me to tailor it specific to your industry. I'm happy to do that. Just communicate and let me know. But other than that, I really appreciate you all for coming. This is the first of the series. I will definitely, I'll be doing more. I just need to really figure out, like, just hear from you, like what other topics you want to learn. And what I don't want to do, as you all follow me through this presentation, I don't want to keep you at a 100 level, right? I feel like we need to start progressing with it. So we start at the baseline, here are our foundations. Then the next call, we build on top of that, and we keep going and we keep going till we reach my ceiling, which is like, hey, I don't understand how to do that. And then we'll just learn together. But that's one of my things. I don't want to keep you at a 100 level or intro level. I want you to grow and learn with this, because as you see, AI moves super fast. And that's it. I really appreciate it. And you all have a good night. I'm going to go eat some dinner. And I really appreciate you all hanging out with me.